Hello and welcome back. I'd like to apologize to everyone for my lack of content in the past week. I've been having some equipment malfunctions and my monitor may in fact be on its way out, so if I disappear for a little while, it's because I have to invest in a new one and the funds to do so aren't all there yet. So I ask for your patience and thank you for it. Now this video is going to be returning to the how-to series, more or less. And we're going to look at a character who's got a new pressure tool. I don't know if it's completely new, but an adjusted pressure tool thanks to the recent patch to MKXL. And that would be Possessed Kenshi and his quote-unquote teleport pressure. Alright, now a little disclaimer, this video, like my others, is not going to guarantee you victory against any and all possessed Kenshis you happen to run into. The character is a bit better than he was previously, and you're still going to have to lab the matchup lest you get beaten by gimmicks or unfamiliarity. So keep that in mind. Now, if you've played a possessed Kenshi since the October patch, you've more than likely run into a situation like this one. Looks a little frustrating, doesn't it? The 4-2 and 4-2-1 strings demonstrated in the video are both plus on block. Even though they both begin high, they do in fact jail into the teleport, so you have to respect that option at least. Now, when Kenshi is coming out of his teleport, the easiest thing for you to do would be to backdash or armor. However, as we all know, meter is a finite resource, and a backdash, if poorly timed, can be blown up by him coming out of the teleport, whether it's with a jump-in punch or even a neutral jump punch. So you have to keep that in mind when looking at what to do in this sort of situation. And I'm going to present to you a possible third option. Now before we look at methods of getting around the teleport, first we have to review the options Kenshi has coming out of the teleport. You can do a jump-in punch, a neutral jump punch, neutral jump kick, and each of those three options can be delayed or done immediately out of the teleport. So in a sense, you have to make a bit of a guess as to what he's going to do based on what he's done thus far in the match. Alright, so the first thing we're going to look at is the jump-in punch. In terms of countermeasures, we're going to go from easiest to hardest. The easiest, as I just showed you, is to just armor out or backdash. From there, you can either try to low profile or down to the teleport. At this point, it also depends on... Alright, so the first option we're going to look at is the jump-in punch. And we're going to go from easiest to hardest. The easiest, as I just showed you, would be to armor. Or backdash. From there, you can either down to or low profile the teleport. Now, those options will beat the teleport jump-in punch regardless of what height Kenshi chooses to do it from. For example, I'll show you. Max height. I'll use jump in 1. And then we'll go to lowest height. relatively simple. Now this last option, in my opinion, is the hardest one. Let's say, for example, you don't have any meter, and you don't want to risk trying to backdash because let's say your character doesn't do so well from a distance. There is a small window coming off of blocking 4-2 or 4-2-1 that you have to run and cross under Kenshi as he's coming out of the teleport, giving you the ability to trip guard him for full combo. It's a little risky, but in my opinion, it can be done on a reaction, and it can save you the round or the match. Let's take a look. And a little disclaimer for this part of the video, I'm going to be demonstrating how this strategy can be used regardless of what height Kenshi uses his jump in punch after the teleport. Now, this same strategy, although difficult, does work against Kenshi's neutral jump punch out of teleport. It's a little better in my opinion. Obviously you can armor, you can backdash, although the timing has to be a bit better on the backdash. Otherwise he could still potentially hit you as you're coming out of it. But the neutral jump punch, in my experience, crushes most, if not all, the lows in this game, maybe other than a small handful. So this option is best suited in both cases, neutral jump punch and jump in punch. Let's take a look. Alright, so by now you guys get the point. It's not an easy option by far. It does take a lot of practice. I haven't even gotten it 100% yet. But it is worthwhile to learn in the likely event you run into a possessed Kenshi. He seems to be a very popular character online now due to the adjustments he received and the overall meta changes of the game. Now, this, like I said, this isn't going to guarantee that you beat possessed in the matchup. You're still going to have to lab his other options. All this is going to do is give you a little bit of insight on how to get around what seems to be a common strategy for some possessed players right now. Now, unfortunately, this option does not work against his neutral jump kick. The hitbox of the move seems to be a little wide, a little vertical, but even delayed or not delayed, he drops like an anchor. So, will not work against that. It will work against the jump in punch and the neutral jump punch as we saw earlier. So you're going to have to make a little bit of a read based on what the Kenshi player has done thus far. He's less likely to do the neutral jump kick because it doesn't give him a combo. It just gives him a knockdown. Now he is very plus, so he might use that to his advantage. However, in my experience, more often than not, the Kenshi will either go for a jump in punch or a neutral jump punch. But again, it's going to be a read. So, all that being said, you'll have to go into the lab with your character, because this may not be universal throughout the cast. This is just some of the characters that I play. So you'll have to see for yourself if this method is going to work for you. I can't promise that it will, but if you play the characters that I do, then As you can see, it works just fine. Alright guys, take care, good luck in the lab, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching this episode of How to Deal With featuring Possessed Kenshi. If you found the content to be helpful or informative, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. If you have a question about something that you saw in the video or an idea for a future video, leave a comment below.